It was the coldest winter in 50 years. Snow covered everything, trees, fences, even the mountains disappeared behind thick clouds and icy wind. In a quiet valley in Wyoming, a rancher named Tom Reed was riding his horse through a blizzard that had lasted 3 days. His hands were numb, his breath turned to ice before it left his lips, and the world around him was nothing but white. He was checking his cattle, making sure none had wandered too far, because Tom's father always said, "Every life matters, no matter how small." Tom was about to turn back, when his horse, Scout, suddenly stopped. Ears up, head turned a soft whinny into the wind. Tom followed his gaze and saw something dark sticking out of the snow about 50 yards away. At first, he thought it was a rock or a broken branch, but something pulled at his heart. "Wait," he whispered. "Something's not right." He dismounted and began walking, each step sinking deep into the snow, his legs burning, the wind howling like a wild thing. When he got closer, his breath caught. It wasn't a rock. It was a foal, a tiny wild Mustang, buried in snow, ice on its coat, completely still. Tom dropped to his knees, brushed the snow from its neck, pressed his glove against its skin. Nothing. He waited, his heart pounding. Then faint, so faint he almost missed it, a tiny flutter, a pulse. "You're alive," he whispered, voice shaking. "I don't know how, but you're alive." The foal was maybe 5 months old, a beautiful golden coat, dark mane frozen stiff. Its body was cold, so cold most vets would have said it was already gone. But Tom didn't care. He took off his heavy coat, wrapped it around the little horse, and with all his strength lifted it. "It's okay, little one," he said, teeth chattering. "I've got you." He carried the foal to Scout, laid it across the saddle, and rode, every minute feeling like a lifetime. 50 minutes, through wind and snow, until he reached his barn. Inside it was warm, 40 degrees warmer than outside. He laid the foal on soft hay, covered it with blankets, and called the vet. Dr. Lena Patel arrived 20 minutes later, slipping and sliding on the icy road. She knelt beside the foal, checked its temperature, listened to its heart. "Tom," she said, "its body temp is below 80. Normal is 100. This little one, it should be dead." "But it's not," Tom said, firm. "And as long as there's a breath, I'm not giving up." Lena nodded. "We have to warm it slowly. Too fast, and its heart could stop." So they worked. Heating pads, warm water bottles, soft voices. Tom never left the foal's side. He talked to it, told it stories about the ranch, about other horses he'd saved, about the time he rescued a hawk with a broken wing. "I don't know if you can hear me," he said, "but you're not alone anymore." Hour after hour, they watched. Midnight came, the barn quiet except for the wind outside. Then a change. The foal's breathing became steady. Lena checked again. 90 degrees. She said, amazed, "It's responding." "Tom, I think it's going to make it." But the real surprise came at dawn. Tom had dozed off in a chair, exhausted. He woke to a sound, soft, gentle, like a whisper, a nicker. He opened his eyes and saw 2 dark, deep eyes staring at him. The foal was awake, and it wasn't afraid. Slowly, it lifted its head, stretched its neck, and touched Tom's hand with its nose. Not out of fear, not out of instinct. It was gentle, like a thank you. "Well, I'll be—" Tom whispered, tears in his eyes. The foal didn't pull away. It leaned into Tom's touch, closed its eyes like it had known him forever. When Lena came back in the morning, she froze. Tom was sitting on the floor, the foal's head in his lap, both of them calm, peaceful. "This isn't possible," Lena said. "Wild Mustangs don't do this. They run from humans. They don't trust them." Tom smiled. "Tell him that." Over the next few weeks, the foal, now named Ember, did things no wild horse had ever done. He followed Tom like a dog. When Tom sat down, Ember lay beside him. When Tom left the barn, Ember called after him, not in excitement, but in worry. "It's like he's imprinted on you," Lena said. "But that usually only happens with newborns and their mothers." "Maybe," Tom said, "he sees me as a second chance." Ember kept surprising them. He seemed to know when Tom was tired and would stand close, letting Tom lean on him. When Tom's hands ached from the cold, Ember would nuzzle them like he was trying to warm them. Then, one night, Tom stayed up too late, fixing a broken pipe. He collapsed unconscious on the coal barn floor. Ember found him 20 minutes later and did something no one could have predicted. He didn't panic. He walked to Tom, nickered softly like a lullaby. When Tom didn't wake, Ember gently tugged his jacket with his teeth. Then he lay down beside him, pressed his warm body against Tom's, and kept making that soft, steady sound until Tom opened his eyes. "He saved me," Tom told Lena the next day. That's the only way to say it. Word spread. Scientists came. A behavior expert from Colorado, Dr. Nora Kim, brought brain scanners and tests. One test was simple. Tom's arthritis medicine was locked in a box with 3 latches, too hard for any horse. They didn't expect Ember to open it, but he watched, studied it, then slowly used his nose and teeth to unlock each latch. In 10 minutes, he opened the box and brought the bottle to Tom. When Tom pretended to struggle with the cap, Ember gently held the bottle so Tom could twist it open. Dr. Kim was speechless. "This isn't just intelligence," she said. "This is caregiving. He's not just bonded. He's protecting Tom." The video went viral. People around the world watched, cried, shared. Then the government came. Wild horses belong to the public, they said. Ember had to go back to the wild or to a sanctuary. Tom's heart broke, but they tested Ember, put him in a field with other horses. He stood at the fence, calling for Tom. When Tom left, Ember paced, whinnied, wouldn't eat. Another test, Tom pretended to fall. Ember rushed him, shielded him from the wind, made the same soft sounds he used at night in the barn. And when a stranger approached, Ember stepped between them, not to attack, but to protect. The officials looked at each other. "This bond is real," one said. And for the first time ever, they made an exception. Ember could stay, not as a pet, but as a partner. A year later, Ember became the first wild Mustang certified as a therapy animal. He visited veterans' children in hospitals, people who had lost hope. And every time, he knew who needed comfort. He'd nuzzle a child's hand, stand quietly beside a soldier lost in memories, just be there. Tom, once lonely, now had purpose. Together, they healed others. At Ember's first birthday, really his second chance day, over 200 people came. Scientists, vets, families Ember had helped. As the sun set, Tom stood in the field, Ember beside him. The wind was gentle. Ember leaned into Tom, just like he did the first day he woke up, and Tom whispered. The miracle wasn't that he survived the snow. It was that when he opened his eyes, he chose me, that he still chooses to care every single day. And that is the most beautiful thing of all. The greatest lesson? Love doesn't always speak in words. Sometimes it's a nuzzle in the cold, a quiet presence, a second chance given back. And when we show kindness, even to the most broken, the world gives it back in ways we never expect. If this story moved you, please subscribe. Leave a comment, tell us how it made you feel, and share it with someone who needs to believe in miracles again. Because sometimes hope comes on 4 legs and a heart bigger than the wild.